What is going on, everybody? Welcome to Front and Center Ice, brought to you by Run Pure Sports. A little bit different today. No games on the slate as we're on an all-star break. So we're going to do that. We're going to talk all-star game, talk skills, and look ahead to the second half. Maybe dig into some futures, and also going to do a bit of a Q&A. So whatever you guys want to know related to, betting, hockey, DFS, any of it, just drop it in the chat, and going to be a little freeform today. I'm joined, as always, by Tanner Smith and Nadesify. Tanner, how you doing today?
Can't complain. Wish there was a little more to talk about other than just the all-star game, but whatever. Nice little break.
It is, yeah. Nadesify, how about you, man?
Doing good. It's nice to get a little break here, a couple days. Sit back. I've been knee-deep in the NBA streets, having some success over there. Nearly shipped for a couple 5 figures last night. It was still a profitable night, but no, it was good. Excited to kind of talk about some of this, just kind of have a free forum here. Personally, I don't watch the All-Star game too much this year, maybe because there's some good rosters, and the new format definitely makes it a little bit more intriguing. But I absolutely love the skills competition. I think a lot of that stuff is incredible to watch these guys and watch how talented these guys actually are outside of just when you're watching the 5v5 go on. So
that's shocking for me to hear, because I think NHL has the best weekend, and I think their games. I think baseball has an edge because it's the only sport that you can really play in its truest essence, and it's as it's meant to be played at the All-Star game. But
They're playing for a little bit more too with the home field advantage and stuff like that in the World Series. So
yeah,
a little bit on the line.
Yeah, I hate that they got rid of that, but that was nice when they were doing that.
Yeah.
But just 3v3 hockey with the best in the game, I think it's absolutely incredible. Look forward to it every year, and I think it's hilarious that it's the same weekend as the Pro Bowl. And per usual, no one gives a shit.
Right. Yeah. Pro Bowl's even worse
stupid.
now. I think they went to flag football or some bullshit this year.
Yep.
Yeah. Kind of nuts. I'll definitely, if you're going to put both in front of me, I'm definitely choosing the All-Star game 12 times out of 10. Especially with the 3-on-3, it's basically a full game of overtime, which is awesome.
Yeah.
With the best skaters in the league, outside of obviously the standard snubs that you get every year, that we can talk about a little bit here. But it should be a good weekend. Nice little break here. I'm not going to have any DFS money riding on any of these games or anything like that. I'm probably going to take the weekend off from NHL for sure. Definitely be focusing on NBA streets over here.
For sure. Are they doing DFS for the All-Star game?
I don't know. I did see some. I saw some contests up there, the $15, like 2K to first or something. For the 2-gamer, obviously, right between the first round, right between the Metropolitan and
Atlantic.
Yeah, and then obviously the other, and then the winners play the final.
Yep, you can play. Wow, it's the cheapest you'll ever see McDavid, $7,700.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. It's really fun. When you get those guys and they just get open ice and they do some cool stuff. So it's always
fun. Relaxed. They're out there trying different things and that you're never going to see in an actual game setting.
Yes.
So
no, it's kind of like it's almost like watching a practice. Just like the stuff.
Yeah, it's just guys going out there messing around.
It's phenomenal. Always fun to see. Looking at the betting odds on it, though, the Atlantic is favored. Central right behind them, and then the Pacific and Metro are dogs, which I think is shocking. Those are the two divisions I like most. I'm not going to go through the entire roster because that'd be kind of boring for the people, but just highlighting it, Metro has Crosby, Goudreau, Ovechkin, Svechnikov. Their depth is crazy, and their top is super strong. And then the Pacific, you of course have McDavid and Draisaitl. And then Horvat will be participating in the Pacific Division. Pedersen.
Yeah, that Central lineup is just stacked, though.
You
got? I think Atlantic.
Central.
I think
Central
Atlantic
has
is
McKinnon, McCarr, Rantanen, Robertson, Kaprizov, Hellebuck, Morrissey, and Saros. Those guys are.
Why do you like the Atlantic, Nate?
I mean, Barkov, just I don't know how defensive he's going to be in an all-star game, right? But, I mean, Larkin, Kucherov, you got Pasta, who's on an absolute tear all year, Brady Tkachuk, actually the brothers there, the Chuck brothers. So, yeah, and then you got Vaz and Allmark. I mean,
do you think so? That's a good question. It's kind of I think Atlanta is the weakest. Do we really think goaltending matters that much when like this level? Like when you're getting the best.
No, these guys aren't going to be trying. I don't think
they're not going to be laying
either,
out for anything like that. Yeah, if they get beat, they get beat. They're not. Yeah. No hero saves here.
I do think it's kind of funny, the comparison.
Definitely hurts them not having Matthews or Tage Thompson. So that's it, without those two, it definitely hurts them. I think if those two are in there, I definitely think that they're close to the best roster. But yeah, definitely hurts them that obviously Tage got hurt last night again. And Matthews has the injury. I don't even know what he's dealing with, but he missed a couple games too. So
it is funny, like Skinner and Thompson are the goalies in the Pacific. Like,
yeah, Skinner's a bit of a stretch.
Yeah, I know. Like you also too, like you have so many. It wasn't even like an Edmonton pick. Like obviously they have Draisaitl and McDavid, so they didn't need to fit them in. But like, guess who's better in the Pacific? Like as far as goalies go, kind of a weak division.
Yeah.
I mean, he's playing all right, but yeah, I just don't really know who would be better. Like Markstrom's not playing great this year. Vladar is the backup there. He's still not been all-star worthy. There's really not a ton there I can even think of who are
Copley?
Worth going.
I mean, Martin Jones has been having a solid year with the Kraken for sure.
Skinner was like the fan vote though, wasn't he?
Yes.
Which would explain it because Edmonton's going to get more people voting than a lot of other cities.
Yeah. Seattle is not going to be voting for NHL
they
All-Stars,
don't care.
So. Yeah, that's too bad. Yeah, because Grubauer would have been a nice pick. Who does Seattle have?
Jones and
Grubauer, and they've got the one who's been hurt.
No, in the All-Star game.
Oh, Matty Beniers.
Yeah, but he's out.
Does he not play? Yeah,
I think
he's not going.
Yeah, so he was an all-star. So I think he's close to the favorite for Rookie of the Year, if not the favorite.
Yeah, it's between him and Logan Thompson, I think.
Let me see. But yeah, he's injured, so he won't be there.
He's the favorite right now for the Calder. He's minus 210 for the Calder, actually.
Yeah, and I agree with that. I mean, he's having an incredible season.
Well.
In the Kraken in general, right? Like, kind of taking the league by surprise. I was high on him early. I mean, anytime you get one of these add-on teams, right? It's going to take a little bit to mesh together, right? Like, you can't just pull guys from each team and throw them all in the same team and think they're going to mesh in the outside of Vegas. Vegas is in,
I mean,
so that's an outlier, but right, like you can't just expect that's going to happen every time. And I mean, the guys the Kraken got were not the same caliber as the guys Vegas, right? You do this,
Vegas robbed some teams.
Dealing to make
So that's what I'm saying. But they've come together now, and they're definitely obviously had some good drafts with Matty, and they're good, right? Like
they made some great signings in the offseason. Like Burakovsky was a fantastic signing for them. He's been so good for that team.
Mm-hmm. Kind of on that note, man, let's kind of dig into the futures a little bit.
Yeah, no.
We'll stick with the West. I mean, the Kraken are playing phenomenal hockey, but I just don't think you can expect a team without the experience to really do much in the playoffs. So who do you like in the West? I'll start with you, Nate Pie.
Let me take a look here. Western Conference. I mean, the Jets. The Jets are definitely interesting. They got the firepower in offense. They got the goaltender in Helly. It's just can they start scoring outside of in Winnipeg, right? Like Kyle Connor's night and day different player at home than he is on the road. The Kings are playing great hockey. I think the Kings can definitely make a run, but you look back at goaltending, and that's where they're going to struggle. I mean, Copley has shown his ups and downs, but if you get him on a down day in the playoffs, it's going to be good night. Quick is not the same Quick that he once was.
But there's some goalies on the block.
Yeah, so that's what
that's
what it comes down to, right? And I don't know. I was talking about this earlier in chat. I don't think Demko's. There's a lot of health concerns there with Demko.
Say if he was healthy, I could see it, but not in the way he is.
And I mean, it's tough because Dallas. I mean, obviously Dallas has the top studded firepower, right? And Otter in that has been incredible. So I think the West is definitely really open in my
wide
opinion.
Open.
There's a ton that can make a run. So if you're talking long shots, I would definitely grab some of these Western Conference teams that are out probably 11, 12, 15, 20 to 1. Because it's wide open. I mean, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 teams with 60 or more points, and they're all within 5 of each other. I mean,
even the Jets, like you were saying, they're plus 3,000 right now to win the cup. And I mean, I've said for a few years that the Jets are one of those teams that they're so good. Like on paper, they're just a wagon, and they get into playoffs and just tend to disappoint. Like they made a few deep runs, but I mean, they have the ability to. It's just whether or not they can. Piece it together.
You can't count all the Avs too, right? Like if the
I know.
Fully
get healthy right now.
If they fully get healthy, right? I mean, it's hard to bet against McKinnon and Rantanen and Cale Makar, right? Like those 3 can go up against anyone in the entire league. I mean, can we talk about the Coyotes? No, I'm just kidding. But yeah,
I saw something today actually based on points percentage. If the playoffs started right now, the Stars and Avs would be a first round matchup.
That would be
that'd be a good one.
incredible first round matchup.
There's a few on here that are pretty good matchups.
Edmonton. Right, so I'm torn on Edmonton here. Edmonton's the same story every year, right? Like they have all the firepower and offense, and they can't play defense. And when you get to the playoffs, defense and goaltending wins hockey games.
That's going to be Dallas's problem too. Dallas is terrible on defense.
I mean, when they got in the playoffs last year, they shut everything down. Like, I mean, look at their series against Calgary. Every game was 1-0, 2-1. Like, nothing.
Dallas can play D. Dallas can play.
Yeah, they can play D. If they get in there, they just flip that switch and they can just lock things down. And Ottinger in that, if he plays even, 70% of what he did in the playoffs.
I mean, Dallas at home is a completely different team too. So
yeah, they're going to be tough. And if they're the higher seed going in, they get the home ice advantage a few more times. Yeah, they're going to be a really tough out. Whoever they.
I mean, they're 13-5-6 at home, 15-8-4 on the road. So like they can.
They have.
I mean, they're plus 40. Too. Yeah, it's hard to talk shit on a team that's plus 40 on the year in goal differential.
Yeah, that's fair.
Right?
They got the experience, like being in what they weren't in the Western Conference like 2 years ago with Colorado.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, they're solid. Yeah, it was 2 years ago, I think.
So they're third in the entire league in goal differential, behind obviously the incredible Boston. Right, Boston's double anyone else at plus 81. And then you got Stars at plus 40, and you got the Devils at plus 40. So it's really hard to count a team like the Stars out, right? And I mean, Jason Robertson's incredible. So
I was thinking the Central, like right now, like looking at all these teams, they're all built for that like playoff run where they can play defense and lock things down and like play physical and kind of bully you through the playoffs. Like it's the Wild, the Jets, and the Stars. Like those are going to be just
the top 3 for sure, right? And then the Avs like aren't the same Avs team that we've seen in the past, but they've been banged up.
Yeah,
right. They've been banged up, and they can score with the best of them. So
yeah, they get healthy, then there's no telling. Tanner, I want to hear your take. Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
I was just gonna say with the Avs, like we saw last year, they have one of the deepest blue lines in the league, if not the deepest. So I mean, when you get in the playoffs and can roll out, Gerard, McCarr, and go down to Eric Johnson, stuff like that, like you can just cycle through those guys. That's just so hard to beat.
Who's your pick though in the West?
To go to the Cup final there?
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, I think healthy. It's just so hard to fade the Avs. I know it's probably on a lot of people's mind, but just to get a little different, I think Winnipeg can do a lot of damage there. I mean, Hellebuck is just a freak when he's locked in like that, and they can play fantastic defense on home ice. And if they can maintain where they're at right now, like I mean, they're in second place. Where's the points on here? I mean, they're a point behind Dallas. They got a game in hand right now, so I mean, it's going to be a race for that first spot there. But if they can get that and get home ice over whoever they're playing, like I think they're going to be a really tough out.
Vegas agrees with you. They're plus 300 to win the West.
Yeah, I just think they're going to be tough to get out of there.
I think there's a lot of value at 12-1 with the Jets.
Yeah, I really like that. I mean, they have the Flames at plus 900. I'd take the Jets over the Flames in that any day of the week.
I just don't think a team that hasn't been to the playoffs in 3 years can make that run. That's why I'm on Vegas. I think Vegas is shown they're an incredibly talented team. They have the experience. If Colorado can't put it together, I think Vegas, I think they run away with the West.
Run away is a stretch, but I mean, Vegas kind of agrees with you. They're plus 500, so.
Yeah. I mean,
the Pacific's also a little bit weaker than a few of the other divisions there. So, yeah, I think they're definitely a playoff team right now. I don't really know who.
I mean, they suck at home. They suck at home. That's the thing, which is kind of weird. They're a great road team.
I think the Kings are also an incredible value at 14-1. I mean, they still have the core from those Cup teams.
15-1 on DraftKings.
Yeah, they just need to figure out the goaltending situation. But the issue is they're not going to get rid of Quick. That's just not going to happen. So,
well, that's the issue. So the Kings are kind of, I mean, they're minus 10 on the year, and that just shows you the goaltending.
Yeah, like I think they have the ability to lock. Like if they got a good goalie, like you're saying John Gibson earlier, but I just don't think they make that like interdivisional trade.
Can you imagine?
They'd be fantastic if they got him. Him and
the Ducks are not sending Gibson to.
That's what I mean. Yeah, they're not doing something like that. It's not going to happen.
Unthinkable.
Like send Gibson to Jersey. If they got someone, they're going to drop Quick, but they're not going to drop Quick. So they're just kind of stuck in this shitty limbo spot right now.
Right.
But I mean, that playoff wise, like you said, like they still have the core from that, and like Deneau and Kopitar are two of the best defensive centers in the league. So I mean, you get in the playoffs on home ice, those guys they can shut down some of the best of them. So they definitely be someone to watch out for. It's just goaltending is just a massive issue for them. And
they've given up 183 goals in the year.
It's pathetic. They're the only playoff team right now that are negative goal differential. So I mean, that's that.
183 goals against.
Yeah, no, it's absurd.
That's worse than the Blackhawks. That's worse than the Coyotes. That's worse than the Blackhawks. That's worse than the Coyotes. Like, I don't see it, to be honest with you. Like, goaltending it's going to come back to goaltending, and Copley he's not the answer. Like, for every one good game he has 3 games where he gets pulled. So, I mean, I get it at 15-1 on DraftKings, right? Like, I see the value there, but like, I mean, 12-1, and I'm going to side with the better talent. I mean, experience is big, right? But like, I'm going to side with the better talent in Hellebuck and Kyle Connor and Ehlers and Scheifele. Like,
and the way Josh Morrissey's playing right now, like he's just been on a tear. If he continues that, so yeah, 11-1 on FanDuel. I think that's probably my favorite value play, if anything.
Yo, can we talk about Jared right here?
Yeah, it's a great. What do they need him for?
Yeah, so he's not doing anything.
I mean, we can ship him to shits. Yeah, we can ship him to shits, but that doesn't fix their goalie issue. I'll tell you that. That might make it worse.
Maybe a little.
Yeah, but I mean, 183 goals against on the year. Like,
that's just brutal. You can't win with that.
You're not one of those teams that are going to make some noise. Like, they are not going to be a one-and-done team in the playoffs. Like, there's just something about them. That franchise is
So if the playoffs started today, who are the Kings playing?
Just 1 sec. They got the Kraken.
I think Kraken beat
No
them.
way.
I think Kraken beat them. Absolutely.
Yeah, I think right now
that's not
Kraken.
how it works out.
It's just this is based on points percentage as of right now, so it might change the standings.
They're tied at they're tied at 63 right now.
So they wouldn't play each other.
Yeah. Well, yeah, they would because Stars are at 66, Jets are at 65. So the Stars would play the Wild, or the Stars would play the Avs, maybe? Yeah, Stars would play the Avs, 66, 57.
Avs, Jets, Wild, Kraken, Kings, then Knights and Oilers.
Well,
I just got this off like a
Instagram
account that's pretty good with this stuff.
Yeah, no, it's right because Wild have 58 points, Jets have 65, so the Jets would be the 2 seed right now, play the Wild, and then the 2 middles would be Kraken and the Kings. And then, yeah. Yeah, I'm not.
Yeah, I'm taking the Kraken in that one if they're playing against each other. I mean, the Kraken are just buzzing right now, and like
so there you go. You get 12 to 1. I mean, 12 to 1 on the Kraken.
There, and
yeah,
I don't know if they make it out of that conference. I think I'm taking the Jets if I'm picking out of those two with the Jets and Kraken. I'm taking the value with the Jets there. I think they have a better chance, and you're getting the same payout.
They're the same odds. Yeah.
So
I see what you're saying, but I don't think they're not taking the West.
I think they have a solid chance.
How do you know? Like, the West is wide open. Like, yeah, we can talk about the Avs all we want, but how do we know they're going to stay healthy and get healthy throughout the rest of the year? They've been on and off with injuries all year long, right? Like,
no, for sure, I'm just saying, I think it's like it's got to be like it's going to be a team that has some experience. So, like, I think it's got to be like a Vegas, a Dallas, Colorado certainly in the mix. I just don't see. Like I said, a team that's never been in the playoffs.
If you want to really talk, like the Wild, like what happens what happens when the Wild get Chychrun here at the trade deadline
for Matt Dumba?
What do you think? What happens, right?
Like, I mean, that just makes them so much better.
Exactly.
That's more realistic. I think Wild can be in it.
So like, because the Wild. Yeah, but I mean, the Wild have given up 138 goals on the year. Like they,
I know. I'm just saying,
they can shut down anyone, right? With that
the X line, yeah.
Yeah. So, and I mean, you got Krill the Thrill, dollar bill there. I mean, they're right there in the mix. I mean, like I said, the Western Conference is wide open.
Yeah. No, fair enough.
The Wild are 9.5 to 1. So I would be in the West for betting value. I would be throw the Flames out there. I don't get why the Flames are up there. Yeah, they're not going anywhere. 9.5 to 1 on DraftKings for the Wild, 12 to 1 on either the Jets or the Kraken. And then if you want to ride Zargo, which I don't agree with, you got the Kings at 15 to 1, but
I'm just saying, of those bottom tier teams, I don't think it's going to be any of them. But if I got to make a pick, I just think the Kings are where it's at.
Yeah, for the value, I'm taking the Jets out of any of them any day.
I'm with the Jets as well.
Give me your actual prediction. My actual prediction is Vegas. Like if I'm putting money down, I'm putting it on Vegas at the West.
I'm going to rock with the Stars right now.
All right. Tanner's taking the Stars. I got the Knights. Who do you got, Nades?
Hold on. Let me take a look here. I'm between the Stars and the Wild, just because I think the Wild shake things up here at the deadline. My original call was the Stars.
I'll give you both. If Tanner, if you want to take a long shot, pick two. You want the Jets? You want Jets? And
no,
Stars?
So I'm not picking. If we're doing long shot, I'm definitely going with the Jets. Like I said at the start, and then let me hold on. Yeah, I'm going with the Stars.
Okay.
Yeah, Stars and the Jets. Jets is my long shot, 12-1.
Tanner, you like the Jets too for your long shot?
For a long shot, yeah. Give me the Jets
Stars
a long
at
shot.
Stars at 6-1.
Down in the East, man. I mean, does anyone stand a chance?
I say every single team's gonna get. I was doing like the matchups.
The
The
Bruins-
It's just a gauntlet.
The Bruins are 22-1
Yeah,
on home
it's a
ice.
joke right now.
22-1
They are
Plus-
so much better than everyone else.
plus
so-
81 goal differential. 81.
To be fair, a few years ago when the Lightning were that wagon, they got in the first round and got pumped by the Blue Jackets. So
I was going to say, you do see it happen across all
it does
sports,
happen.
but I just don't like this
It's tough.
team.
I mean, you're still getting almost 3-1, like on the Eastern Conference winner for the Bruins.
Yeah.
Like
That's
still
pretty
pretty
value.
good. That's still good value for a team that has given up 111 goals on the year and have scored 192. Like they're up there with I think they've scored the most. Yeah, so they scored the most in the entire league and given up the least in the entire league. And you're getting 3-1 for them to win the Eastern Conference, where they've shown to beat every team in this league. Like the Canes, obviously. And so the two that I see that could give them a run, the Leafs choke every year. I'm off the Leafs.
Yep.
Yep.
Nope.
Off the Lightning because I don't think Vaz can stand up. It's either the Hurricanes or the Devils.
I think
I
the
think
Devils
the
are
Devils are
gonna.
overrated.
I think the Devils are going to be
overrated.
an absolute menace come playoff times.
I think the Devils are literally going to turn heads in this entire industry. I said it from the beginning of the year with Matty Ice. Matty was on him before everyone. I was short behind him. The Devils are good, man. They're good. And especially, like, could you see them dealing for a guy like Gibson, right?
They're going to get somebody at the deadline. I don't know
Could you
what they're going to
so
get.
Gibson.
But
So put this. So you ship Blackwood out of there, and you get Gibson. Gibson's your starter, who is a top 5 goalie in my opinion in the entire league on any other team but the Ducks. And yeah, Jared. So yeah, I mean you give the Devils Timo skating with Jack and Nico and Dougie, like
they're just going to be freaks. And they
Yeah, I
have
mean,
the
Jack
young
Hughes
studs
is-
on that team. Those guys just buzz around the ice. Come
And you
playoff
got
times, you're not going
you
to be able
got-
to breathe in that arena.
well, you got defensive men that literally will suffocate you, and all of them can score. Like the Devils are definitely my favorite for sure. Like if one team is going to stand a chance to knock out the Bruins, it's the Devils, and you can get the Devils at 9-1 right now.
Yeah, so you're giving me 9-1 on the Devils.
appreciate-
I'm taking that.
Yeah, I appreciate your enthusiasm and your fight for this. I just don't see it.
So
I don't.
the Devils are 19-3 on the road. That is huge.
They
You have
just
to be
don't
able-
seem like they're going to be a team.
You
that's
have
gonna
to be able to
hold up
win
in
on
playoffs.
the. You have to be able to win on the road in the playoffs.
For
Anyone can win at
Carolina
home.
was a perfect example of that last year. They lose one game at home and they were done.
Right.
Like they could not win on the road. But I just
I just think that for the value here, you're getting. I mean, FanDuel has them 6.5-1. I just
9-1
like
on
he's-
DraftKings.
Yeah, I said they just have the ability. Like I said, they're a young team. They have good defensemen. They can just
And we know for a
smother you.
fact they're making moves at the trade deadline.
Yeah, and if
I
they
know
get
for a
someone like
fact.
Timo, good God.
What if they get
Um,
Timo and Gibson? I mean, Gibson's their
there's-
starting goaltender, and then they got Vanacek as their backup, or vice versa, right? Like that's their issue. Is Blackwood comes in there and gets run off the ice, right? And Vanacek's been good, but he's showing flaws.
Yeah, no, I'm not a big fan of their goaltending, but I mean it's not bad.
That's what I'm
It's just,
saying.
there's definitely better out there. So yeah, if they
Well,
could
it
get
definitely
somebody
helps
to
that they got
solidify
the-
things.
It definitely helps. They got the defense that they got in front of them, right? Like,
Yeah, I mean they're just playing so well.
I mean, you put that defense in front of Gibson on the Ducks, and Gibson's, like I said, top 5, top 3 goaltender in the league, probably behind Allmark, and I don't even know who else.
Sorokin.
Yeah. Speaking of all-star snubs, didn't he get? Did he?
Sorokin, no, he got voted in. He was
Okay,
it was like
yeah.
a fan vote or whatever, but yeah, he is going.
Yeah. So you're like,
Tanner, man, who do you like in the East?
I mean, just for the value, I was looking through this. It's an absolute gauntlet, but I think I got to take the Devils. I do think they make moves. I think they're just going to be a tough team to beat. They just play that in-your-face style hockey that just wins in the playoffs. It's how the Islanders have had success in recent years, and I realize it's a little bit of a different team. The Devils score more. The Islanders have definitely more of a defensive team, but that has to do with some of the coaching there. But it's just they've got young guys with a lot of talent, and if they get a goalie in there or someone like Timo, like you're not going to be able to breathe in that arena. So it's just going to be a tough place to play. And what'd you say, 9-1 on DraftKings? I mean, yeah, I like that a lot.
It's kind of crazy because the East is so top heavy, but everyone down below like absolutely has potential to make some noise in the playoffs. Like these scrappy teams, playoff experience. Like I mean,
so like I said, I was torn between Carolina and Jersey, but Carolina's only 4-1. So if I'm betting a 4-1,
for sure,
give me the Bruins at 3-1, right?
I don't think that. I completely.
So
see
like
that.
that's where I truly believe the Devils can do it, and they're 9-1. They're 3 times better odds than what you're getting with the Bruins. Everyone and their brother knows they can bet the Bruins, right? Like the Bruins are far and away the best team in the league. Like that's why they have an 81 goal differential in the league on the year, right?
Stupid.
Like that's absurd. And they got especially when they put that top 3 together, like, come on, like Pasta, Marchand, and Bergeron, like, so it's. But I'm not one to bet a favorite. Like if I'm gonna bet, like I'm gonna take someone that.
But I mean, this feels like betting Novak in the Open. It's like this feels like free money.
Right. So if Faxman was on here, he would make the points that we just made, right? Like they're far and away the best team in the league, and you're still getting 3-1 on your investment. Like it's not like they're minus 210. Right?
I thought you just said you wouldn't bet the favorite.
I wouldn't, but it is good value. It's just like I'd rather, because I truly think the Devils can beat like in a series. I think the Devils. I mean, it's different, right? You're playing the same team multiple times over. Like, yeah, that's where I'm at for sure.
Yeah. Let's talk about the wild card though, because right now it's Pittsburgh and Washington.
Pittsburgh.
Tanner, what's your outlook on this team? I know you're a homer, but also too, I like talking to the fans because you're gonna be a little more plugged in, a little more.
Islanders are taking one of those spots.
What the organization is thinking. So what do you expect from this team at the break and outlook for the rest of the season?
I have no idea. They need to make moves. I saw some numbers the other day. Basically, like Bluger, I love him defensively. He's just an absolute pig with the puck on his stick. He hasn't had a point, I think, in like 15 games or something. Jeff Carter hasn't had a point or hasn't had a goal or something in like 25 plus games. Like they're just not getting the production from these guys that they need. So, I mean, goaltending is a big issue. Jari should be back after the All-Star break. That was kind of his timeline. I haven't seen anything as far as an actual return date, but they got to change something. I mean, up the middle, they just need production from the bottom 6. I mean, and they need Gino to play any form of defense, just anything. Give him a slightly bigger stick or something so he takes up a little more of a passing lane. Like anything would be better than what he's doing.
Yeah, but then he's not scoring, and then he's not scoring, and Pittsburgh's even worse.
Yeah, it's just they're a disaster. I mean, one of the Penguins writers, he's a clown. He was saying how they needed to trade Gensel away to like get value and all this stuff. I was like, why on earth would you trade Gensel away? I was like,
let's trade your second best player away.
Yeah, I was like, why would you trade him away? It's dumb. He said something last year about how Crosby was the issue on that team. He just does things for clicks. So yeah, I really don't know what their solution is. I mean, at this point, they just need to be better. Like goaltending is obviously an issue with the Smith, but I mean, if Jari's in and he's playing well, that's fine. It's just him staying healthy is obviously a major issue. He hasn't been able to do it the last like 3 years.
The Pens can't win on the road. That's their issue.
Yeah, they stink on the road, and they give up a ton of shots. Like even the other day, I think it was against the Capitals. Like DeSmith played fine, but it's so hard to win when you give up like 45 shots. Like no goalie's gonna. Not many. I shouldn't say no goalie. Not many goalies are going to be able to stand on their head like that over and over. So I mean, he just gets left out to dry, and he does stink right now, but I mean, half of it's not his fault. So what the solution is, I have absolutely no idea, but I don't know. It's so hard to say that like they're not going to make it. I mean, they're at what, 3 games in hand? They've got 4 games in hand on Washington, who's right ahead of them, and they're only behind them by 3 points. So I mean, they're in an okay position, but they just need to be better. It's plain and simple.
They're not going to make it.
Who do we think? Yeah, who's going to get cut out? Because I don't. Islanders are making the playoffs. That's great. You can catch like plus 215, I believe, on Islanders to make the playoffs.
Let me see what it is on DraftKings. Hold on. To make playoffs.
Is there anyone else we like that would bump?
If the Sabres get a goalie,
Islanders, you get plus 300 on DraftKings to make the playoffs.
That's
I would
great
slam
value.
that. That's easy money right there.
So outside looking in is Buffalo, New York, Florida, Ottawa. Anyone else we like to get in of those other 3?
Not out of the other ones. I mean, I think the Sabres, like I said, if they can get a goalie, it's just going to be tough. Like, I mean, it's just tough on what they're going to do because they've got Devin Levy in the pipeline and stuff, and he's supposed to be good. So do you trade for a goalie now to possibly have another guy come in, and they're not going to get him closer to playoff time because he's down in college right now and he's having a fantastic season. So it's just they're kind of stuck in a really shitty spot with that. So it'll be interesting to see what they do. But yeah, if they can sort that out, they're going to be a good team. I don't think they do too much in the playoffs, just given how loaded the East is. But I do think they can make a
That
push
is the
for
problem, right? Is like, okay, the wild card teams are taking on Boston and Carolina. So incredibly tough matchup. But like crazier things have happened. And so that's kind of what's interesting about the bottom of the East versus the bottom of the West is that's more likely to happen than it is in the West. It's interesting. It's interesting. And I like, especially 2 heavy playoff experience teams in Pittsburgh and Washington. Like, I don't think a first round exit is guaranteed. So something to consider.
Do you want to do some awards?
Yeah. Funny thing, I was just looking at it though, is right now Toronto would play Tampa Bay. And
I know. I was looking at that. That'd be such a good series, though.
Oh my gosh, they would absolutely bounce Toronto, and that would just be straight comedy.
That'd be a good series.
I didn't see too much variance on the awards. Like, it seems pretty straightforward.
The heart for sure is McDavid's. I wish there was some value in taking some of these other guys, but the pace he's on is just outrageous. I mean, he's minus 700 to win an award with 30 games left, which is outrageous. He's on pace for like 150 points or something like that. Like, I just don't know how you fade that. So I wish there was some value there. Like, Tage Thompson started off so strong, and he's plus 3,000 right now, but I
6,000 on DraftKings, but this
doesn't matter, right?
It's McDavid's trophy to lose at this point. So unless something crazy happens, it's his.
Yeah. And Venza, I don't see Hellebuck catching Ullmark. Well, Sorokin might though.
I like Sorokin for this, at least for the value, 6.5 to 1 on FanDuel. I like that a lot.
So that's what I'm saying. So like if the Islanders can make a push and make the playoffs here with Horvat, I know our guy Jared is spewing donkeyism in the chat here with thinking Horvat's not going to help the team, but 6 to 1 on DraftKings, even odder 9 to 1 or Hellebuck. I would one of those 3, but obviously Ullmark is the far and away the favorite, right? But
the thing is,
the other day, Sorokin has the highest shutout percentage through this many games in history for a season. So I mean, he's just playing out of his mind. The team just can't score. Like, that's why they're losing.
And what might help him when it comes to voting is Ullmark is great, but he has the most incredible defense in front of him.
The team's a wagon.
Yeah, so that's why I think Sorokin could slide in there. I think
Sorokin or Hellebuck.
What you're getting value-wise, I think Sorokin. Like, I would never take Ullmark at minus 170 to win the Vezina. There's just no shot. I wouldn't take minus anything for any award. But, yeah, plus 650, I'd take that all day for him. I think that's great value for a guy who's just playing out of his mind.
You're taking Hellebuck, Nathan?
Yeah, I like Hellebuck or Sorokin. Both of those are good. 4-1 and 6-1 on DraftKings. Probably FanDuel's probably got different odds, but
Yeah, Hellebuck's 400 plus 400,
Yeah.
Sorokin 650.
Interesting there. Looks like Berniers has the Calder Trophy pretty much locked up.
yeah, I don't see him losing that.
Yeah,
Yeah, unless
McTavish
Logan
and
Thompson
both been
goes on like
great.
a tear at the end here, but yeah, beyond that, I think it's Benier's trophy to lose.
Yeah.
Josh Morrissey for the Norris is my long shot.
I think that's a really good pick for a deep cut there. He's plus 900 on FanDuel, and he's just playing fantastic hockey.
Yep.
Let's see if I can find
and Rocket Richard also locked up by McDavid.
I wouldn't say that's locked up. I mean, Pasternak's only 3 behind him right now.
Is he really? I didn't realize it was that close.
Yeah, Pasternak's at 38. McDavid's at 41. I mean, Thompson slowed down. He's at 34. So's Rant. I mean, if Thompson really starts lighting it up, I mean, he
15
can
to 1 on
for it.
DraftKings.
Yeah, I mean, I
20
think
to
you
1 on
can
FanDuel.
definitely. Yeah, like Tage Thompson plus 2,000. As far as for value, I don't mind that. I know he's injured right now and he's really slowed down, but if they really want to make moves as far as making a push for the playoffs, he's going to be he's going to be the back they do it on. And yeah, plus 2,000. I mean, he's what I say 41 minus 34. Math's tough sometimes, but if you can close that gap, I mean, that's just fantastic. I don't think this is all locked up. I mean, I think McDavid probably does win it, but
so
I think there's definitely some chances for other people.
I think there's an outside shot too for Robertson at 35 to 1.
Definitely. That's what I was going to say. I mean, if we really want to look at long shots, like I mean, Robertson's absolutely. I mean, he can make up, a lot of ground in a week.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not terrible.
Like, so I don't get the odd differential with Rantanen and Robertson, right? Like Robertson's double the odds, and they're 1 goal separation right now. And Rantanen's dealing with
a lot of time injured, hasn't he?
Yeah, but he's also dealing with McKinnon, Makar, like Lehkonen,
right. But his rate at which he's scoring would lend itself more.
Right. Yeah. What I'm saying, I mean, from an opportunity cost perspective, right? Like, I'm not betting a 16 to 1 when I got a 35 to 1 right there at basically the same position.
Who's arguably a better goal scorer as a whole.
Correct.
Yeah. James Norris Trophy is pretty wide open too. We probably should also have been telling.
That's what I said, Josh.
Yeah, Josh Morrissey. I don't mind that for a little bit of a longer shot. I mean, Carlson's playing fantastic. There's no denying that.
You're still
getting McCarr won it last year, right?
Yeah, even though I think Yossi should have won it, but
that's fair. And so this one, those aren't aware, it's the best offensive defenseman, right?
Yeah, I think they need to add. It's the best defenseman. I think it's turned into who can score the most points. I think they need to they should make a Bobby Orr trophy or something and give that to the highest scoring defenseman, and then actually have the Norris be a defense. Because I mean, like a guy I know he's kind of he never scores in his life, but Adam Pelech is one of the best lockdown defensemen. He's never going to touch the Norris trophy. Mm-hmm. It's just it's become a goal scoring trophy, which I mean, it's fine. People like goals. I do too, but I think they need to add another trophy for that.
I mean, Carlson's above Jack Hughes.
I'm not saying I think Carlson's. I think this is Carlson's trophy. It's just if you want a longer shot, plus 900 for Josh Morrissey, I think is a great play there. But it's going to be tough for Carlson, man.
It seems like it should be.
I mean, Darlene. What's Darlene? Yeah, 40 plus 425.
Plus 500 on FanDuel.
Yeah, so between the 3 of them, it's either Morrissey, Darlene, or Carlson for me.
I mean, Carlson's tied for 4th in the league in points.
Right.
As a defenseman. It's just insane. He's tied with Robertson and Matthew Tkachuk. He's right behind Thompson. It's crazy. He's only 10 behind Draisaitl. I'm leaving McDavid off the list because he's just on another planet.
No love for Fox?
I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't really like that one as much. Not for 450. He's playing well, but I don't know. Just don't like it as much.
Yeah, can't argue with that. All right, that's about all we have. Unless there's something else you gentlemen want to talk about.
No, that's good for me. Should be a fun little weekend here. Definitely check us out, runpuresports.com. Had a ton of NBA winners last night. We're going to keep that rolling tonight. As far as content goes for the All-Star game, I'm not putting anything out for sure. We'll be in the Discord just talking, chatting away. But I think we broke down the awards and futures and stuff pretty good here. So it's definitely this one was definitely more of a betting show, but obviously that makes sense, right? With no games, but no. I think we're good.
Yeah. Before we go, just give me. You gave it. Just to clarify, give me your pick for the All-Star game. I am riding with the Metro plus 330. I think they're going to run away with this thing. Nate's Fi, who do you have?
Go to Tanner first. Let me look.
Tanner.
I'm gonna go with the Atlantic just because they get the homers. They're going to be down in Florida. I know they only have Matthew Tkachuk on the ice as being the home guy there, but I think that's how it's going to be. Guys are going to be in South Florida. Haven't seen the sun in a while in some places. Might be hitting the booze cruise a little too hard. Okay. So I think the Atlantic's going to get a nice shot there.
Give me the Central.
Yep. Okay. Cool. Yep. Keeping consistent with what we said at the top of the show. I like it. Pacific's probably going to win now, but we should have some good games.
Pacific's not winning. I mean,
I don't hate them. I was torn.
I don't hate them.
I mean, it's hard to go against a guy that's got 92 points at the halfway point.
On pace for like 150 or 160 or whatever. It's a joke.
The goaltending, I mean, I don't know how much it really matters. Goaltending in the Pacific, I definitely think is there.
I mean, you got Mr. All-Star, Bo Horvat, that's going to be represented in Vancouver, but Jared thinks he's not going to make a difference in New York. So
Right.
I just think the goaltending is going to be a joke. I don't think any of these goalies even drop to their knees for a single shot. So
I wish we could bet on that.
Yeah, but still, give me Helly at 20% in Saros.
Oh yeah.
I mean, Pacific, you got Skin D's and Logan Thompson. Come on.
Yeah, that's a tough goalie room.
Allmark's not trying either.
No.
There's no chance.
Risk pulling a groin before the playoff run? No shot.
Yeah, no.
The funny thing, too, about the odds is, Atlantic and Central are favored, but they face off first.
Are they?
Oh, no, I'm sorry. Atlantic plays Metro. My bad. Never mind. So this all indicates that it will be like an Atlantic Central final.
Metro plays the washed-up Sidney Crosby Penguins.
Washed up, man. That's tough.
No, I just had to throw a dig here at our guy Jared. I had to just throw a dig here at our guy Jared and Tanner, the two Homer Pitt fans.
He's only 12th in the league in points. That's fine.
Yeah, he sucks.
Anything else before we go, gentlemen?
No.
So we got NBA show coming up here in about an hour. So definitely right back here on the same channel for all you. Definitely appreciate everyone hanging out, and go ahead and hit the like for anyone that is watching after the fact. Very good futures discussion here, and there's some good betting value here for all you bettors out there. So
absolutely. I also put out a NHL futures article today. You can check that out on Run Pure Bet. Tanner, he's always dropping NHL articles. Think he'll do anything like that?
I was thinking about after the All-Star game, stuff like that, just kind of go through and see which ones you put down and see which ones I can fade against. I'm just kidding.
Absolutely.
I was going to do something after that just to get something out there. Getting into the final stretch here.
Yes, absolutely. 30 games to go. We'll be covering them. We'll be back. No show Saturday. We'll be back Tuesday, 3 Eastern. That's all. Thank you for joining us. Enjoy your weekend. Enjoy the All-Star game. And as always, Run Pure, baby.